Okay, first off, we want to thank every one of our new subscribers. We was like, in a few weeks when we hit 2,000 subscribers, we want to do this, or a month or so.
Yeah.
And here it's been a couple of days and we're almost at 2,000. So
Thank you.
thank you. And if you're new, like and subscribe. We are tripping through adventure. We like adventures. We're not good at it,
No.
as you'll see today. So today we explored the Tower of London. Very, very different than what we would experience in America.
Yeah.
Video can explain a lot of it, but there's a couple things that we didn't hit on in the video that we would like to really talk to, and some very insane stories. Like very insane stories. And if you guys don't hear something that's really cool in the video, thinks a really interesting fact, let us know. But we learned so much. I learned a lot of history that I was unaware of. I also learned that I might have learning disorder.
Yeah.
So this was kind of a big day for us. First museum in England, possibly learning disorder. They didn't diagnose it that much while we was in school like they do today, but we're learning.
Yeah.
We learned a lot this day. So enjoy it, like and subscribe, and we will see you after. Okay, first tour that we're doing is Tower of London. I don't know much about the Tower of London, so we're coming here to learn. I know that this is where a lot of people got the thing, but I don't even think that was here. I think that was London Tower Hill, that was somewhere back over in that direction. But this is where they was held, and I believe the crown jewels are here somewhere. I might be wrong on that, but that's why we're here. We're here to learn, right? So we got our tickets. The tickets was 69 pounds, which somewhere around $80 for us US people, the US dollar. But that's what we're doing today, so let's go.
So first off then, good afternoon and welcome then to His Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress, the Tower of London. My name is Yeoman Warder Tracy Machin, and I'm one of the really lucky 35 Yeoman Warders here at the Tower of London.
Okay, this tour guide is awesome. And this Tower of London, I guess, was the original Castle of London, and it is a madhouse with a history. Some of the history in this is just, what is the history of this?
It's amazing.
Like, if you can think of it, it happened here. This is really crazy.
Yeah.
We're gonna go, now we're actually starting the tour with some of the stories, and was talking about all the people she was talking about all the people that was murdered here, that this was the original moat right here that was in, and talking about the bridges, the drawbridges, and how they chopped people's heads up and marched it up to London Bridge and boiled it and stacked it on the bridge to ward off any other traitors. And a lot going on here, but we're just starting the tour, and it started out like that, so there's no way this is gonna be a bad tour. And she's really great. She's got a great sense of humor, so this is really fun. So she was talking about one of the most gruesome beheadings of all time. I forget, I'll put the name of the Duke under there, but the guy that they got to kill him was a raging alcoholic, or what's the word? Behead him. Was a raging alcoholic. He showed up drunk, hit him 5 times with the axe, still missed him. And it was the king's son, but he hit him 5 times with the axe, still missed him. And then he took out his butcher knife and sawed him with the butcher knife. And then they realized they didn't have a picture of him for a royal thing.
They didn't have any recent pictures.
They didn't have any recent pictures of him. So they sewed his head back on, brought him back to the Tower of London, and put a painting. And if I can find that painting, I'll put it up right now. That's the most morbid thing I've ever heard.
And then buried him after they finished that.
Yeah, they buried him in the chapel here because it was the king's son. It's very morbid. Very, very morbid. So this is called Traitors Gate. So this is where they brought traitors in by boat and marched them up here into the Bloody Tower. See, these are real. These are, we always see these at like Universal, like Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's like, these are the real ones. These are the real things. If they drop down, they'd impale you. This is an actual crow.
Nope.
I don't even think we have crows in America, but that's an actual crow, and they are very intimidating. Those are the things that they say would peck at your dead body. That's actually, them are scary. Or those ravens. Are those ravens, not crows? Are they ravens?
Ravens.
Those are ravens. Yeah. Those are a scary bird. So you have the guardsman here, and I was talking to her, which she's a beef eater. That's a beef eater. And these are active military, but a cool thing about it is anybody that's of a commonwealth of England, like Canada, parts of their military can come here and be a part of this and do this. And they just stand guard. They're guarding the Tower of London. It's a very disciplined job. Don't annoy them when you get here. Don't try to scream or make jokes at them. No. Don't do nothing dumb, because they're doing something very respectable that takes a lot of discipline, and just have a little respect. We just had the funniest conversation with the beef eater. She's like, I was like, how do you get into where they was tortured? She's like, you got to be more specific than that. Everybody's been tortured everywhere here, and every part of this has been a prison or a murder scene at some point. I said, well, where's like the exhibition for like the torture? She's like, oh, that's down the stairs. She said, the torture chamber is now a gift shop, she said. So you can go to the torture chamber gift shop here at the Tower of London. That's pretty exciting. What did she say about the ravens?
What she said was that something about that there's all types of ravens here and they keep them here, and that if the ravens leave, they think the tower will fall and that will be the end of the kings and queens.
That's the end of the monarchy.
I'm not sure if that was the tower or which one, but they call it Raven Tower.
But check out Tower Bridge from here. Great photo op right here.
No.
Just the red backpack and all.
Yeah.
Look, that's a beautiful picture right here. So we're either going into the torture tower exhibit or a bathroom. She thought that was funny. And you have the rack. And I wonder, is this the real rack?
Yes.
Could you picture? So that just right there, they just put you in that. They just bind you up in that. It's called the scavenger's daughter. It's like the exact opposite of the rack, which stretches you out. You see those binders? It just steadily gets closer and closer and starts slowly smashing you. And then you have like, you know, the good old fashioned, just where they hang you. They just hang you from them. They leave them for 5 to 6 hours just hanging. I wonder if that got to be the real rack, right? Okay, now we're going to the White Tower and the Royal Armories.
4 steps.
So like when we're watching all these movies and like you're seeing like King Henry VIII walk around, or you know, this is the building that he was actually walking around.
Yeah, because the royals lived here actually.
Yeah,
first.
for a while. This comparatively is, go stand next to it, Tiffany. This is King Charles I and II's armor as they was young children. Look how small compared to Tiffany. Tiffany's, in comparison, Tiffany's 6'5". No.
I'm not 6'5".
This is a fireplace. So, I'm guessing the floor here is stone, but they probably built this over top of it.
Probably.
I would guess. Because this, look underneath there, kind of flows into it. Mm-hmm. Or there's no floor here anymore at all and they've redone it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Subscribe for more unanswers. Now, this is the chapel. Is this the chapel that they...
The buried people?
Yeah. Wow. So these are the swords of all the kings. Well, all the kings listed here. King George. King George VI, King George V, King Edward, King William, King George II. There's the culprit. There's the axe for executions and the block. Walk down an unnerving amount of stairs to get to the armory. Check out these cannons. That one's seen better days, I guess. It's myself as a lion. That face. Oh. What is that? Number 4. Golden statue of a winged lion. Representation of St. Mark's the Evangelist. Look how pretty the cannons was, though. I feel like they just took time to do everything, which I guess over the course of 1,000 years you do. So that's the original foundation. That's what we're walking under. So I guess it dropped down even further. That's the real foundation right there.
Mm-hmm. So these rooms are even bigger?
It's a deep well. The White Tower's well. It's a little gift shop. It's pretty cool. So they did not allow filming in the Crown Jewels. There was a few people in there who was filming some stuff, but we have too much stuff on our memory cards for a guy with a gun to come up and be like, hey, you need to delete all that. So we did not. We did not. But that was amazing. That was really cool to explore not just the Crown Jewels, but the whole thing as a group. I mean, it was, there was a lot there. Mm-hmm. A lot of funny stories, what I'm about to tell you will just explain how terrible that was, what I said. There's one funny story. The rest are just tragic. I feel bad for saying that.
Yeah.
But
You're not really
kind
funny.
Of morbid. But what was your initial thoughts on the Tower of London?
Well, first, the jewels itself was amazing. All the stuff we seen in there was like mind-blowing. And I seen stuff like I never even knew really existed in there. It was like really pretty.
I mean, you're talking
really
like
cool.
serving trays. It's oversized, like punch bowls and stuff like that.
A diamond bigger than your fist in there.
Yeah, it's made of solid gold. Just amazing.
Yeah. And the fact that it was an actual vault was really cool. Like on when you walked in and then when you walked out, I didn't notice it till we walked out, but it's literally a vault door. So you were actually in a vault the whole time you were in there. So
Yeah.
that was really cool in itself.
Yeah. I didn't want to look like I was doing anything shady in there. That didn't seem like the place to look like you're doing something shady.
No, definitely not.
Like scoping out the security,
No.
you know. That was the only place that seemed like it was actual armed guards actually in all of England.
Yeah.
That was, besides the places that the guards are at, like the guard, what was it, the guards,
Guards Gate or
Yeah.
something.
stuff like that, and Buckingham Palace. That was the only one that I seen that was actually protected by, some heavy equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about the actual tower?
Well, one of my favorite things that I learned out there was about the animals. They said that other kings and other people gifted the king,
I think it was Henry VIII.
okay, Henry VIII, with animals. And they had an elephant, they had monkeys, they had, I forgot what else, but she said like all kind of different animals. And I'm thinking, wow, an elephant as a gift. And she's like, the tour guide, she said that they didn't know what to feed an elephant. So they just fed it everything the king ate. And they said it lived a very short, happy life.
I guess it would.
Yeah. And then what ended up happening was a monkey bit or attacked a child. So then they ended up having to move all the animals because they just had them roaming around the whole area there.
Yeah, it was
And-
just free roaming in there.
And then they decided it was a bad idea to do that after the child got attacked by a monkey. So they opened the London Zoo with those animals.
I think it was really interesting to learn that like most of the British history that we've learned, like, old British history as Americans, we didn't really, obviously there's different castles around England, but a lot of the focal point was there. There were so many people who was trialed and, executed there. You're talking about Guy Fawkes was executed there. William Wallace, Braveheart, not Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's fine. But William Wallace, the real William Wallace, he was there. And there was just some strange stories, like some very strange stories. And to see like how much of like modern history just came from this place. Because it was built by William the Conqueror 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And there was like, it seemed like this idea, it's like, what history do you want to go down? The history of them against other people and building their country, or the history that them against their self, you know what I mean? Fighting for that crown, and then like a million other different directions. But that history of themselves, there was a story of the two twins that if you look at that part where we was by the Trader's Gate, apparently when right up above there, when I swing the camera back, there's a little window. I guess the father died and these twins was heir to the throne. And the uncle was in charge of watching them, and they was worried somebody was going to kill them, so they had them locked up, like they was under like lock and key, and then they just disappeared. And nobody found their bodies until almost 50 to 100 years later in a tower that was 70 yards away.
Yeah.
So how many nooks and crannies and secrets really hide in that tower over the past 1,000 years? Is just amazing. King Henry VIII met, I believe it was his first wife there at the gates that we initially walked into.
Yeah.
I mean, these are just things that you're seeing. So this was the first time I felt like I had an emotional experience with the history, because like American history, don't get me wrong, American history is fun, but it only goes back so far. And then when you go into Native American history, but that idea that you're seeing the knight's armor, and in America you hear about knights and princesses and stuff, but you're actually looking at knight's armor.
Yeah.
And it's like you're seeing these movies and TV shows like The Crown, and what's all these ones on Netflix showing King Henry VIII and Braveheart and all these, and you're actually walking the grounds. And I don't know what's weirder, like the idea, and we'll go into this because we have a few more historical places that we're going to go over, and if you like that, like and subscribe, because some of the things we see are just absolutely amazing, especially from an American. It's mind blowing. It is kind of emotional coming from an American mindset. I'm not smart. No, I don't want you like there is no, you're not going to hear me, start in like some type of like narrator's voice. It's going to be very, very simple because I'm sure most of you guys in Britain are you guys are probably infinitely more educated on all this, because you've had these opportunities, you probably took a school trip to see these, and I'm talking past this, even like the British Museum and stuff, to see these things and experience it, to where we was limited to books and TV shows. So you're not going to see me walking up here and saying, in King Henry VIII, this is where he made his final decision on his final. I don't know. I'm kind of dumb. I think like, okay, they literally looked at me and said, this was built 1,000 years ago by William the Conqueror. I instantly turned around to the camera and said, this has been here 1,000 years. Not this building exactly. I think this was built, Alexander the Great didn't get to see this completed. He commissioned it, but he didn't get to see it completed. So that's what I'm getting. But that's because I don't want you to think I'm dumb, because I want you to know that. But I also want you to realize that like, this is overwhelming. This is like, for like, if the people who would walk in here and this wouldn't be overwhelming, is people who's not really identifying what they're looking at.
Yeah.
They're just really brushing it off. Because if you really think of the history that you're looking at right now, you are going to be blown away. These are the stories that we've heard about. And when you get into places like this, not just England, but there's other places, a lot of these places are the story of what made us us. This is the butterfly effect of who we are today. So that idea of like, seeing that was just amazing.
Yeah, it really was.
And if you guys know anything like really cool, you want to share with us, any little bonus information, love it. If you guys want to troll, we have not been able to get to all the comments.
Yeah.
We've not been able to argue with all the trolls like we want to.
We want to.
All right, come on. Hit the like button. I'm Rich.
I'm Disney.
That was Tara.